As stock traders, we all make mistakes. I've been trading for 35 years and I have made every mistake, so I consider myself an expert. In this video, I'm going to talk about 4 big mistakes that traders make, whether they are experienced or new to the game, and I'll also give you some solutions to these problems. So let's dive right in. These 4 mistakes are costing you money. Number 1, believing in the dream. There are people in this world called stock promoters. I grew up in the stock promotion game in Western Canada, and I will tell you that most of them are giving you lies to try to get you to buy their stock. When you listen to these stories, they all sound great, and most of them will never actually come true. They are dreams designed to get you to buy the stock and hold on to it. My advice is don't listen to any person. Just listen to what people are doing with their money. And we do that by looking at market activity, how stocks are moving, if the trend is up, is the trend down, is the stock showing buyer excitement, or are the sellers in control? We can see all of that in a stock chart. If the bottoms are rising from left to right, the buyers are in control. If the trend is broken and starting to move lower, then it doesn't matter how good the story is. The dream is dying, and you need to listen to the market and not listen to what people are telling you. All right, number 2, the shelf filing dilution. So when companies have those big days, you know, we're all aware of the stocks that might go up 100%, 200% in a single day, trading very heavy volume. It's quite common that these small cap companies, micro cap companies that have these big gains on strong volume will announce a financing of sorts. And typically what they've done is they've done what's called a shelf filing, which means they have in advance said, we have the right to issue 10 million new shares on a financing. And then they put out some news that is good, and they promote their stock. They push the story out to the public to try to get that stock, let's say, to go from $1 to $2. And then once it gets to a certain threshold, they start selling through their bankers new shares into the market and announce that they have done a financing. So they're using the market action to finance the company. Now, in some ways that's good. Companies that raise money can then use that money for better things. But almost always when the stock announces this shelf filing or this financing, because of the dilution, the shares in the short term anyway will go down very quickly. There were 2 examples of this past week. If we jump into the Stockscores website, and just a reminder, I've got some free events coming up in April, classes that I'm teaching, and they're all free. The Active Live is not, but these essential characteristics of great stocks, finding the best stocks. This is more of an investment focused one. This is more focused on day and swing trading. So you can register for those, they're free. Each one's about an hour long, and everyone that registers will get a free electronic copy of my book. All right, now let's jump into just some charts, and I'm going to show you how these shelf financings can cause the stock to move down very dramatically. So the first one we're going to look at here is PAVS, and we're going to look just in the last 10 days. Here it is right here. This stock made a big jump in price right there and was trading nicely, looked like it was going to break to new highs. And then all of a sudden, in an instant, it dropped from 75 cents to 30 cents because the company announced a financing. Another one, VSA. And let's zoom in on just this past week of trading action, because this one had the exact same problem. Really doing nicely, went parabolic, was trading heavy volume. There's the announcement of the shelf financing, and it went down very quickly from there to there. So the question then is, how do you deal with that? How do you combat it? It's actually fairly simple. Use stops. We always hear about using stops to protect yourself against downside. That's the best way. It won't always prevent it, because if your stop is too wide and the stock has a rapid downward move, you may not get your stop triggered, and then the stock gets halted or something and it opens at a lower price. That can be quite frustrating. But just be aware, these low flow companies that don't have a lot of shares outstanding, that maybe in their news in the past have announced shelf filings, be ready, because they can announce that they have done this dilution to their shareholders at any time. And This is why you always want to manage risk. Don't take positions that are too big on any one stock, because you never know when one of these things can happen. And also make sure you use stops. All right, the third one, the FOMO Chase. So this occurs when stocks go parabolic in their upward trends. So what happens when stocks get hot is initially the trend starts kind of slowly. They're going up slowly, steadily. They'll have pullbacks. They go up a bit, pull back, go up a bit. And as the crowd gets attracted to the upticks in the stock, as the stock moves higher, you get a bigger and bigger crowd piling into the stock, and you'll see the volume traded get higher and higher. Now this stuff happens if you're day trading, if you're swing trading, if you're holding a hot stock for months, this can happen as well. Anytime the trend goes parabolic, you have to be aware that when price runs away from the trend line, it's likely to collapse. And let's look at just a very short-term trade. ARTL was one from the day that I'm doing this video. It had a big run, and you will see, if we zoom in on this just for the last 2 days, you can see the trend line is here. Okay, I'm just drawing a line across the bottoms. And as the trend goes parabolic, as it runs up and away from the trend line, in other words, it's far above the trend line, and then it starts to break down right there, it's very likely it's at least going to pull back to the trend line. And then if it breaks the trend line, party's over. So the way you defend yourself against these fear of missing out chases where the crowd is chasing the stock higher is be very cautious about buying a stock that is far above its trend line. And you can apply this on a weekly chart if you're holding a long-term stock. Say Nvidia, for example, went parabolic before it fell apart. Microsoft, or just short-term day trades, ARTL as an example. And almost all of them will have this blow-off where they go parabolic, and that's when the party's probably ending and you need to get out. All right, next one. Drawing conclusions from small sample. So in other words, drawing solutions from small sample sizes. So it's very common for traders to look at what just happened. Maybe there was a stock that went up and it was an oil stock. And so now they say, oh, that last hot stock was an oil stock, so I'm going to trade the next oil stock. The thing is, you're drawing a conclusion from a sample size of one. The fact that one stock went up under a certain situation, maybe it's an oil stock, maybe it was a low price stock under 50 cents, maybe it was a stock that announced something related to Bitcoin or AI or something like that. You can't draw conclusions from small sample sizes. When I develop trading strategies, and I've been doing that for 25 years, I take data, I look at what happens not over 1 or 2 or 5 trades, but over 100 trades. I collect data, put it all into spreadsheets, and collect data through different market conditions, different types of stocks, that sort of thing. And from the data, I can draw conclusions, which then points to a new trading strategy. So when I'm developing a new trading strategy, for example, in the last 2 months, I've been working on a new strategy called a first wave, and it relates to stocks making that first initial break up for day trading. So what I did for 6 weeks is I collected data. Every day that the stock met my basic rules, I put a whole bunch of data points into a spreadsheet, and then I can start to massage the rules so that the data proves that that strategy works. I don't ever change my rules. I don't ever adopt new strategies based on what has happened a couple of times. It's really a fool's game to do that. And I see people do it all the time. They have a set of rules for their strategy, but then they missed out on a good one. And so all of a sudden they're changing the rules. Or, maybe a stock that they sold because it hit their stop and then it turned around and went higher. All of a sudden, now they're not going to use stops anymore. You cannot draw conclusions from small sample sizes. So just to recap, don't believe in the dream. Be cautious and protect yourself against dilution by limiting your position sizes and using stops. Don't chase stocks that run away from the trend line, and don't draw conclusions from small sample sizes. There's lots more mistakes that you can make, and if you're interested, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you have some desire for me to go through this again, if you like this video, please hit the like button, leave a comment on maybe some of the mistakes that you think you've made in the past, and I can perhaps offer you some solutions because, as I said, I've made all the mistakes. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and as always, trade well.